While we have seen muted days coming in the last few trading sessions, even yesterday was nothing great for the Indian markets as well. What is the Asian market doing today, given we still have some more commentary that came in during the day yesterday from President Trump as well as post-market hours as well. Now, today, Asian markets have opened up a bit mixed. When you look at it, the Hang Seng is trading with mild bit of a gain today, 0.2% of gain right now for the Hang Seng, but Taiwan index, that's down 0.4% approximately. ASX 200, that's down with cuts of 0.6%. And Nikkei, that's the Japanese index, that's down 0.8%. Japanese bond yields, 40-year bond yields also have hit fresh highs. Now, obviously, that Trump as well as the EU tensions, that is continuing. So a bit of a mixed cue is what we are picking up today from the Asian markets. Now, look at the GIFT Nifty or Nifty implied open. What is that indicating? A very muted start for the Indian market. Right now, a slight bit of a positive bias is maybe something that we're keeping an eye out on in terms of the Indian markets. But that's the global market action that we have, as well as Asian markets, how they've opened up following that. How is all this going to be impacting our Indian markets in terms of important cues, the trade setup for today, stocks to watch out for? We'll talk about all of that with our team of research who's joining us right now. First up, let's go across to Vivek, who's telling us which are the important cues that we're keeping an eye out on. Today is the Nifty expiry as well, Vivek. Good morning.
Well, good morning. So many cues to keep an eye out for. But, when you're looking at overnight cues, remember, U.S. markets were shut last night, which is why we're not taking any overnight cues into consideration. Yesterday, oil markets ended largely flat with marginal gains. Now, in terms of Indian markets, remember, yesterday is an extremely volatile trading session. The market was digesting significant heavyweight earnings, and on the back of that, you did see sharp moves either ways. Which were the key gainers yesterday on the back of good results? Techem, CG Power, Indigo. On the other hand, key drags were ICICI Bank, RBL Bank, and remember, we had a very strong listing from one of Coal India subsidiary, which is Bharat Coking Coal. In terms of events to watch out for today, quite a long list. World Economic Forum Day 2, result reactions for Havells, LTI-Mindtree, CEAT. Key results today, Persistent Systems, AU Small Finance Bank. Remember, IEX will remain in focus. The market hearing, or the hearing for, as far as the market coupling case will continue at APTEL today. Restaurants Brand Asia, Q3 results, as well as the board meeting for fundraise is something that the street will keep an eye out for. Also remember, later on today, US Supreme Court, there is another date as far as the decision on whether or not Trump's tariffs, global tariffs, are legal or not will be made, and large block deals are expected in two Aditya Birla groups, both lifestyle brands as well as fashion and retail. And like you mentioned, GIFT Nifty Asian markets all indicating a subdued start for our markets today.
Okay, Vivek, thank you so much for that. But let's move on, talk about the important stocks that you should be keeping on your radar today. We have Upasana joining in with us for that. Good morning, Upasana.
Good morning, Vinny. First up, let me start with LTI-Mindtree. Good quarter in line with estimates. CC revenue growth seen at 2.4% and EBIT margin at 16.1 versus 15.9. Next up is Havells India, largely in line set of numbers with our estimates. Revenue up 14%. Also, talking about the margin, it stood at 9.4% versus the estimates of 9.7. Mind you that the cables and wires and ECD saw good growth, but Lloyd Consumer saw muted performance. Tata Capital net profit up 20%, NII up 10%. Oberoi Realty also reported its numbers with a net profit up nearly about 0.7% and revenue up 6% on a one-year basis. Seat overall, a good set of numbers, net profit up 60%, revenue has seen an uptick of 26%. Margins saw a sharp up move from 10.3% to 13.5% on a one-year basis. Sai Silk also reported good set of numbers, net profit down 17.4%. But the revenue has seen an uptick of 8.3%. Margin stood at 17% versus 17.7% on a one-year basis. UPL will also be in focus as the company's arm, that is Advanta, files draft and red hearing prospectus for the SEBI for an IPO. So we'll be watching out for that as well. Ola Electric, Harish resigns as the CEO with effect from 19th of Jan, and the board appoints Deepak Rastogi as the CFO of the company with effect of Jan 20th. Now, according to our sources, Aditya Birla Lifestyle Brands will be in focus on the back of the block deal. The investor is likely to sell up to 3% stake in the company via block deal, and offer size is nearly about $43 million, and the floor price is seen around 106 per share. And lastly, coming to Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, according to our sources, investor is likely to sell 3% stake in the company via block deal, and the offer size here is nearly about $32 million. So all in all, we'll be watching out for all these stocks in our today's trading session.
Thank you, Pasna. Thank you so much for that. But the final leg of update that we should keep an eye out on, that's the F&O space. And for that, we are Sudarshan. As always, good morning, Sudarshan. Anything exciting that we're expecting today, given that it's weekly expiry?
Good morning, Vinny. So yesterday we saw it was a volatile day of trade thanks to the earnings that we had seen from heavyweights like ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries. All these stocks dragged the market along with the major IT stock that was Wipro, which was top Nifty loser, fallen almost 8%. Coming to today, it's a weekly expiry for Nifty. And if you go by the indication that you are getting for put-call ratio from the options data as well as from GIFT Nifty, we are going to see a range bound of trade where Nifty would try to protect the recent low of 25,473. It's tough for Nifty to go below 25,500 on an immediate basis because now the range has become narrow from 25,500 to 25,800 to 25,900. As far as the flows are concerned, we have seen selling in both index futures and the stock futures by FIs. Longs exposure for FIs remain around 9%. On the short side, they remain heavily shorted and the exposure remains around 91%. Coming to the options data, two active options on the call side, 25,600 and 25,650. On the put side, the most active option was 25,500. That's the reason I'm telling you it's tough for Nifty to slip below 25,500. So support would be around 25,473. That's the recent low, and resistance would remain around 25,960. As far as the Nifty Bank is concerned, which remains on a very strong footing, and for that support would be 59,555. That's the 20-day moving average, and resistance would be around the record high level of 60,437. Two stocks remain in the band. Usual stocks, SAIL and Samant Capital. Two stocks that I'll keep an eye on. Hindustan Zinc, it had put out a strong set of earnings, and after that, commentary also is strong. It has maintained the silver production of 680 tons, the target that it has given for FY26. And apart from that, keep an eye on LTI-Mindtree. While the earnings were in line, but next 2 quarters expected to be a mild week. So that I'll keep an eye on both these names as well.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. But that's the latest update in terms of the F&O data that we have.